Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on making the most of challenging times, a COVID-19 planning and resource guide. I'm Eva Norlyk Smith, and I'm here with Lynn Crimando. And we're extremely happy to have people from such a wide range of the world joining us for this webinar. Um, we're going to be covering a lot, so we're going to dive straight in. Let me get my slideshow on from the beginning here. So we called this a COVID-19 planning and resource guide because I think what's on top of mind for everyone is how can we continue to serve our community of yoga students while we're all isolated and practicing social isolation and still needing each other because we're going through some pretty difficult times. There's an old Chinese curse that says, may you live in interesting times. And I think we can definitely attest to that. It is a very interesting time. I think 2 weeks ago, we would have never imagined that it could come to what we're going through right now. And we have this funny situation where we were in this merry-go-round and the wheel was spinning faster, 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 and we were having a grand time. And then suddenly everything stopped. And so, how do? You have two choices. You can do the Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin scream and be really, really scared, which is definitely an option that some of us go through from time to time. And then there's the other choice. Whenever we are faced with difficulties, it tends to call out the best in us and really forces us to dig deeper and connect with what's most important in life in terms of ourselves, our family, and also our higher aspirations and our spiritual practice, which of course is something we as yoga teacher all are more connected to it probably than the average person just by virtue of the wisdom we have from yoga. And there is also the question of what attitude we adapt in this situation. And I love this quote from Martin Luther King: life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? And I think one of the ways we can deal with our own emotions and fear and worries around what's going on is focusing on, well, how can we use what we have, our knowledge, to help others in this situation? And what people are dealing with is a lot. We're starting to see loneliness, people are isolated, lack of movement. A lot of people need movement to feel their best. A lot of people struggle with depression when they don't get enough movement. There's the issue of financial distress. We're facing a really severe stock market meltdown. There's the fear around the future, there's concern about your health. And for a lot of people, being cooped up day after day with your family is just not easy. So for us as yoga teacher, it really is a time to serve. Um, there is in the massage industry this term light workers, and the massage therapists think of themselves as light workers. And I really feel that we as yoga teachers have that same gift. So it's not so much like what can we do to create a new income stream to replace lost income, but rather we need to think in terms of how can I help my community during this time of challenge. That will really help you come from the right place when you reach out to people to see if it's possible to move some of the things you've been doing in your local studio online. And there's really a lot that we can offer. People are dealing with loneliness, we can offer an online community. People are dealing with lack of movement, we can help them find ways to introduce more movement even as they stay inside. And then there's all the financial distress, fear, health concerns, family discord. And of course, yoga is full of all these amazing self care techniques for nourishing the nervous system and helping us deal with stress and helping us self regulate when things just get a little bit too intense. And that's something we as yoga teachers we are able to share, which is really unique. And before we dive into the presentation, let's just take a moment and introduce ourselves. I'm Eva Norlyk Smith, and I'm founder of YogaUOnline. I became a yoga teacher about 12 years ago. And as most people, when they become yoga teachers, they discover they don't really know enough about teaching yoga to serve people effectively. And it's a very, very frustrating experience. And for me, because I live in Midwest Iowa, any kind of additional training was, at least a day trip and a lot of money. So I was fortunate at the time that we were my husband and I were among the first people to start online yoga training. And we were able to get some great teachers, Julie Goodmestad, Judy Hansen-Lassiter, Tom Myers on our faculty. And it's just been a joyful, joyful ride. Um, and Lynn Crimando, Lynn, I'm going to let you introduce yourself because Lynn has
Okay.
so many letters after her name. I don't even know
I,
where to start.
well, here are the relevant ones. I've been teaching yoga since 2002. I became a yoga therapist in 2010. I'm also a Buteyko practitioner, a board certified integrative health coach, and a certified personal trainer with National Academy of Sports Medicine.
So, really, the question right now, I think a lot of us are paralyzed, particularly if we depend on our income from yoga teaching. Um, you know, all of a sudden, what can we do? How can I make sure that my students come back afterwards? What can I do to keep in touch with them? And as often in these situations where we run into challenges, the key is instead of being petrified and paralyzed about what's going on, start looking at how you can turn this situation into something that can help your business rather than hurt your business. And we really have a unique situation where you have an opportunity to connect with your community in a completely different way, meaning online learning. Everyone is motivated. You are motivated, you have the time to put the time into it, and your students are motivated to try out this new medium because it's the only way they can connect with you. So you really have a great opportunity to turn these challenges into opportunities and find new ways to connect and build your community.
Building an online community and planting seeds for future business. So lots of us are experiencing a sudden drop in business that we can't, yes, I'm going to talk money in a minute, that we can't do our classes that are in studios, and we've experienced a sudden drop, and we are experiencing anxiety, but so are all of our students. And yoga, remember, to yoga connection. So what we're going to talk about now is some ways to create a connection where you're both bringing people to you as a resource, but you're also planting seeds, because this is going to pass. When it passes, we're going to need to rebuild. When we're rebuilding, we're going to need people who have resilience and have resources and have been there through the storm. So the first thing we're going to talk about is being a calm port in the storm. Your students on Facebook and email and all of those things do not need one more person telling them how to wash their hands or stay away from other people or what the stats are. They need other stuff. So what we can provide as yoga teachers and yoga therapists is the other stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about. And we kind of modeled a little bit of this week. If you're on our webpage, which is called, our Facebook page, Yoga Teaching Methodology, last week on Sunday, I introduced a concept of all of us together doing a loving kindness meditation at 9 p.m. together. And we've gotten a great response from that. And also, doing a loving kindness meditation for me makes me feel calmer, makes me feel better. And so I know that my clients also feel better in doing a loving kindness meditation. So one of the things you can offer is a calming practice such as that one, a guided relaxation, or a stress busting technique. Now, I'm going to tell you something that this is just me personally. I can't stand Facebook Lives that autoplay. When I open up Facebook, I do not want, I may love you to pieces, but I don't want your face jumping out at me and you're autoplaying on me. That's just me personally. But one thing we want to do is offer a service, but we don't want to just get up in people's faces. So when you're doing it, my suggestion is, they're saying they can't see me, Eva. I don't know how to make them see me. So they're saying they can't see me and they can't hear me. Okay. Yes, you can set your computer to autoplay Facebook. Thank you. But what I'm saying is not everybody, my clients would not know how to do that. But please offer calming practices that are short, that are in a stark, maybe contrast to the things that are out there that are scaring people. It's a scary time, but it's not necessary to add to the anxiety. So we're all feeling anxiety. A second thing is you can offer a little mini workshop online, and you can use Facebook, you can use YouTube, you can use anything you're using, you can use Vimeo, anything at all. And do something like a gratitude journal, because a gratitude journal is a way to reframe. So one of the things we can do as a service to our clients is to help them to reframe the situation that they're in. So most people in my circle are safe. They're sheltering in place. They have heat. They have water. They're safe. There is an existential sort of threat out there, but what I can do as a service is to point them in the direction of things that are going right in their lives, which is they're safe. They have heat. They have water. They know how to take care of themselves. So can you be that person to offer some reframing? So let's go to the next. Now you can do a daily e-blast. If you have a mailing list, and you can invite people to share the mailing list. If you have MailChimp, there is a free account that you can get. You can start to accumulate emails of people who want to get your e-blasts of good news, of lighthearted things, of not that we're discounting this, ways to stay safe, ways to self-comfort, ways to calm yourself. If you offer something like that, and then you start to compile email addresses, which is going to be the basis of your business, and we come out of this. You can do these short Facebook Live events where you're offering a 5-minute de-stressor or a daily breath practice, anything at all that you can touch your students in a way that is going to resonate with them. Learn and practice and then teach laughter yoga. Laughter yoga has been shown to be very healthy as a mood enhancer. So going to talk about online practices, and a lot of you are new teachers and you're asking, but I'm a new teacher, I don't have a lot of people on my mailing list. This is how you grow a mailing list. Mailing lists grow because you put information out that is of use to people and they share it. And the people who share it, share it. Speaking of things that go viral, that's what happens. People come to you because you're offering useful information and you're offering sort of a calm port in the storm. The other thing that people were saying is we need much more technical information about microphones and cameras and so on. So here is, I'm going to tell you exactly what I did last week and how it went. I have stopped teaching group classes, and as I said, most of my people are over 70, so I emailed 15 people last week from my class. They're over 70, they're mostly on fixed incomes and they can't go outside. The gym that they go to where I used to teach them is closed. So here's what I did. I told them if they were interested in being in my pilot program, what they would need is a computer with a camera in it, and they would need to go to Zoom and just open an account with Zoom. Now, Eva's saying you don't need to do that, so maybe you don't need to do that. But then I sent them all a link, and we did here's how to use Zoom. All 15 said, yes, I want to do it. So I set up a Zoom meeting for those 15 people at that point on a free account. So I kept the meeting to under 40 minutes. So people who are saying they're lengthening the meetings, that's a very lucky thing for you. But if you have a free account, you have to count on it's going to be 40 minutes or less. I taught them all how to use Zoom. And not only that, we set them up. So I said, if you're on the floor, show me where you're going to be on the floor. Move your mat a little bit away. Line yourself up with your couch. Now show me where you're going to be when you're standing. Okay, I can't see your head. This is how you tip your screen up. Literally showing people, this is how you tip your screen down, and this is how you tip your screen up. So I literally taught a class to my 15 students in how to take a class on Zoom. And then we did a trial class, and that was free. At the end of the trial class, I asked them for feedback. And they said, we loved it. And I said, okay, well, here's the deal. I need some income, and I don't want you to not be able to take class with me. So this is what I'm going to offer you. And this is telling you that this is unheard of if you look at what people are charging. I said to them, I will give you 5 classes a week at 8 o'clock in the morning, and the price is $25. If you want to take the class, send me $25. All of them sent me $25. I said, if you take one class, that class costs you $25. If you take 5 classes, that class cost you $5. But what I get is $75 a class because I'm charging 15 people $5. So that is a way to charge, because I want them to come back. And here's why I want them to come back. Because when this is over, I want to keep teaching online. I want them to keep coming to my class online. And right now, I have them coming to my class 5 days a week online. Now, lots of people are charging the same they would pay in person, but I'm dealing with people who were members of a health club who weren't paying for individual classes. So they are taking money out of their pocket. So the answer to how much should you charge is, I don't personally think everything should be free right now, because yoga teachers are losing money more than almost anybody. Number 2, what I said was, I want you to be able to take class, but I need to make some money. So here, does this sound fair? And at the end of this crisis, I will be raising my price. Everybody thought that was cool. So this is a way that I'm getting a daily class. I'm staying in touch with my students. I already have to start a second session because I've committed to only teaching 15 people at a time. So if that is useful for you as a model, that the other piece, so if we go back to the slides now, Eva.
Yeah, some people can't see when the slides are running, so that's why I stopped sharing.
Oh, that's fine, but I just want to go to the next
Yeah,
thing. Some people can afford to pay the same prices, but my students wouldn't have been able to. Now, the other thing that's going to happen is, because I don't have a class coming in after me. Thank you. Lisa thinks my model is genius. So I have to say that. Thank you, all of you who are saying good model. Please steal it. The first one was free. But the first thing I did before any of that, so that I didn't have to spend any time showing people how to set up during class, was to show them how to set up for when they come to class. So they all came to class. Now I can offer private and semi-private classes. So I just put out a message to the universe that for $100, I will teach 1 to 6 people in their space or their spaces a theme that they want, a low back practice, a core practice. So in other words, I'm now building a different business model that's going to take me past this place, because my feeling is people are going to realize that they don't want to go to a health club if they can do it at home. So that's my idea for how to create an online practice. It is working for me. It may, how long was your 5 days a week class? It just started and I'm going to go on forever. I'm not going to stop. So I've had people who've moved to California, moved to Seattle, and they still write to me and say, I miss your class. Well, they can take class with me now because I'm putting it online. Now, the other thing is, and this, I cannot stress this enough, what you would be doing here is replicating the social fabric of class. People come to the yoga class, especially my chair class, which is the next one I'm going to launch, to be with each other, and they're missing that. So one of the things that I noticed, my online class is an hour. It's an hour and it goes Monday to Friday, every day at 8 o'clock. When I'm teaching, I mute all of my participants when I'm teaching. And if they have a question, they raise their hand so they don't have to leave their mat. I unmute them. They ask me the question. I answer it. I remute them. I also stuck with 15 people, by the way, so that I could give them corrections. So I am giving them the same corrections that I would give them in class. I'm doing less demonstrating. I'm keeping my classes. No, I bought a $14.99. So people are saying, did I keep the free? As soon as 15 people signed up for my class, I bought a 1-year $14.99 subscription, which was $150 for the year with the discount. So that's what I did. So for many people, they're coming to yoga class as part of their social life, and they're missing that. So one of the things that I noticed is that when we go to galley view, they can all see each other and they're talking to each other and they're saying, hello, hello, hello. And so you can do these things where you're creating an online Sangha that's going to outlast this crisis. And that's what I mean by planting seeds. So you can start a virtual tea with people where they're just sharing, or you can have a book club, or you can talk about resources and the experiences that they're having. I can see my students and they can see me if we use galley view and everybody turns their camera on. I also sent a step-by-step. Number 1, hit the link. Number 2, allow camera. Number 3, turn on your camera and turn on your sound. I walked them step by step through it so that when we had our class, we had our class. The reason that I'm answering your questions as they come in, but the reason, yes, I would use Zoom for a virtual happy hour. I would use Zoom for a book club. I would use Zoom for any of those things. I limit people to 15. And this is the other part where people were saying, do I need Stripe? Do I need this? Do I need that? Did you hear what I said? I said, here's my address. Mail me a check. They all did. So you don't need anything. This is what I'm saying. You don't actually need anything. Mail me a check. So all of this, when you're doing these sharing circles and so on and sharing resources, you can ask them, what's working for you? You become a respite. You become a place where, first of all, they're seeing their friends they haven't seen in a long time because they're not going out. And then have comments or have share stories. What was your favorite vacation? Who was the best teacher in your life? Give us a recipe. And you do a lot of listening. Do a lot of asking. Don't tell them what they should be doing right now. Just ask them how they're doing. Turn your sound off, turn their sound on. So, question about how this can be interactive. In Zoom, in galley mode, if everyone has a camera and everyone has a microphone, you, as the presenter, can mute everyone, and then you can unmute them one person at a time so they're not all talking. They can see each other in galley mode, but when you're teaching class, they just want to see you. So they go to presenter mode, hit full screen, and you are full screen. Whereas I can see all 15 of them. I cut off at 15 because I can see 15 people on my screen. If I get a bigger screen, I can see 20 or 25 people, but I'm not sure. That wouldn't make my class less intimate. So that's a personal decision of yours. It depends on your, if you have an iPad, you have fewer people because you can have a really teeny screen. Now here's another idea, and I'm going to give this to you with a ton of caveats. We still need to go get natural vitamin D. We still need to get fresh air. But I'm in New York. I can't take any of this advice right now because I am, okay, there's galley mode and there's presenter mode. And the reason I don't need to repeat that, let me make a suggestion to you. Go into Zoom and just play with it. Play with it when there's no students there. Have a family meeting, call up a friend and say, I'm going to send you a link, video chat with me, and just play with it. I'm using a 15-inch screen. On a 15-inch screen, I can comfortably see 15 people. Okay, so here's some outdoor events you can do with safety. And I was really hesitating about this, but this morning I heard Dr. Sanjay Gupta say, we still need to go outside. I can't take this advice right now, and I can't give you this advice based on where you are. But at some point, we're all going to be able to go outside again, and we may still want to keep a distance. So the appropriate, for people who aren't staying in place, I'm in New York, I can't go out. But if you're not in that place and you have a wide open space around you, you could have a walking meditation where you tell people to stay 6 feet apart from each other and go early in the morning or late at night when there's no traffic, do a meditation walk, do forest bathing, do anything outside with 10 or fewer people with 6 feet distance between at all times. But please don't do that if it's not safe in your region. It's not safe in my region, so I'm not taking any of my advice on this slide, but eventually there will be the possibility of doing this. So I'm offering this to you because you may live in Montana on a 20-acre horse farm, and you can tell your people, come, park 10 feet apart from each other, stay 6 feet apart from each other, but let's be alone together. One other thing you can think about doing right now is building your professional network and doing that as self-care. So invite your teachers from your region to do an online study group of the sutras, or class planning, or read the Bhagavad Gita together. Talk about business strategies, talk about sequencing ideas. There is also, one concept we talk about is being alone in company. So if you go to free online like Coursera or any of the others, Yale is offering, everybody's offering their courses online for free. And there are forums to discuss the topics. Coursera has some fantastic free courses from universities all over the world. There are assignments, there are study groups, there are ways to talk to other people about these topics of interest. Set yourself up for future business growth. So this is the time now to learn how to do webinars. And everybody and their mother, including us, as you see, we're here right now talking to you about how you can do this, and we're not charging you for that information. So take advantage of the fact that everyone who wants your email address is offering you free training on how to set your business up. Take it. do it. This is the time. And by the way, right now you can get a lifetime membership to Rosetta Stone for $199. So you can learn another language, so you can teach in other languages. And then this is also the other time to go to all of those professional websites where you have like Yoga Trail, or where you have your bio and update it and just see what's going on. So Corinne is saying she recommends a few trial runs with friends and family. Absolutely. So how I learned to use Zoom is that I have a very large family and they're scattered all over the country, and I needed to learn Zoom for my job with Ava. So I invited my family to have a regular family meeting via Zoom. I not only learned Zoom, but my family we just get on there. Everybody talks at the same time. So I mute everybody and we just laugh for 40 minutes. And we're so happy to see each other. So yes, do Zoom, teach some friends a class on Zoom, get comfortable on Zoom, and then put it out to your students. But remember, your students love you. They want you to succeed. So they'll be very happy to help you and give you feedback. And the way that I did it was, the first one was absolutely free. And then after that, it's very, very cheap. And the reason I told them, the reason I'm making it cheap is I want you to take yoga more than once a week. So for $20, you're only going to take one class a week. But for $25 for 5, an online happy hour with friends. Awesome. So get on Zoom with your friends, with your family, and get comfortable. And then grab a few trusted students and teach class to them.